I'm gonna start doing this thing where I do mock drafts, 1 round mock draft with trades because I don't have PFF Plus. So I'm gonna start doing that right now, and yeah, we're gonna do this today. Welcome to Madness Monday, Madness Mock Draft Monday. Don't trademark it yet; it's in the works. The Raiders take Fernando Mendoza is an easy pick. I mean, come on, how it's just like a lock it in. As Fred Williams says, stay with me, lock the door, take the key, hide in yours. Just stay with me. Lock the door. Take the key. This is easy. As easy as it gets. This is as easy as it gets. I mean, come on. Like at this point, you'd be like, okay, yeah, like this. What else you gotta do? Fernando Mendoza does have I'm gonna point out some of the downsides towards this towards Fernando Mendoza as a prospect. He doesn't have elite arm strength. He also doesn't have the scrambling ability as a usual first round pick, which is a lot. But at the same time, right, like I don't know, you don't really see that scrambling ability. So I'm not really not really concerned about that. That's really it. I mean, with the average arm strength and just, I guess, you're afraid that he won't produce with Cignetti not as his coach. So that's going to be an interesting area, but I think Kubiak is a good enough coach to the point where you can get the most out of him. I'm going to go with the positives, though. You're taking him for his leadership. You're taking him for how clutch he is, how accurate he is, how consistent he is. The thing with Mendoza that none of these other quarterbacks have is consistency. Ty Simmons was very inconsistent. Garrett Nussmeier, very inconsistent. Taylor Green, come on. Carson Beck, very inconsistent and older prospect. Sawyer Robinson, come on. Cole Payton, I mean, D2 quarterback. You don't want to take a chance on him in the first round. Cade Klubnik, really inconsistent this year. Drew Aller broke his leg, I think, or tore something. Did fuck something up in his leg. That's a big problem. And Fernando Mendoza might not be the best quarterback prospect as the number 1 overall standpoint ever, but for this team need, it makes the most sense. And people saying, "Oh yeah, Fernando Mendoza isn't worth a first round pick." I mean, what are we talking about, bro? I mean, it's just fucking get it over with, bro. Damn, what are you guys even talking about? The Jets take Arber Reese. I've been doing this over and 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 over again. Again, this is the easiest pick for me. Fits Aaron Glenn's scheme the best. 3-4 defense. And with this team, what they need an edge rusher, but also a versatile linebacker as well. Would not be the worst idea in the world. You can kill 2 birds with 1 stone with a generational prospect. Not generational, but a really good prospect. A really solid prospect that I'm really high on. The Cardinals, with Josh Sweat requesting a trade, or there's rumors about that. I don't know if that's officially official. This changes it up a lot. It really does. So I usually have Francis Mainoga going here. I brought this up in my similar mock draft, or maybe a review of a mock draft recently, where I said if Josh Sweat requests a trade, Edge is 100% on trade on board, right? That's 100% a possibility. And today they go Ruben Bain out of Miami, Florida. This is gonna be an interesting area to think about because if Josh Sweat requests a trade, there's nothing. I mean, they need trenches either way, but offensive side or defensive side. Today they take Ruben Bain Jr. because I don't know, it's the best pick. And if you might value edge more than tackle, I really wouldn't. I think I would take Maino regardless, even if Sweat requires a trade or not. And on how stacked this defensive edge class, you can get someone like a Zion Young or Malachi Lawrence if you don't want to take a shot on Ty Simpson later in the draft class. So that's gonna be an interesting area to talk about. But I think this team definitely could use an edge as well. So there's a lot of moving parts there, but I can see this happening if Josh Sweat requests a trade. Titans, I usually go this way too. I'm going to go Jeremiah Love, who I have as a top 5 prospect in this draft. I think he's awesome. There's just no real clear-cut guy other than Jeremiah Love who will go number 1 overall, and number 1 overall in the first round. This is honestly the best schematic fit because Robert Saleh was in that offense when they used Christian McCaffrey. I know Robert Saleh was the defensive coach, but he was just around that area. Brian Daboll felt the absence of Saquon Barkley once he left after in New York, and really utilized some of those running backs well in New York with Scadaboo and Tracy towards the end of his tenure there. That's going to be a lot of interesting areas. This team would really benefit from a highly explosive running back that can make a 20 to 30 yard gain into a touchdown, 90-yard touchdown. That touchdown against Indiana was awesome. And this team would really love a Jeremiah Love type back where he can just take it. You don't know when he's just going to break out and break loose. He's also sneakily good in the passing game too. Great hands, and obviously the home run threat abilities doesn't negate in the passing game. He's awesome in the passing game too. A lot of moving areas there, but this team would love a running back like Jeremiah Love in this scheme, and I think Cam Ward would love it too as well because it's another weapon for him, which they really lacked earlier this year. The Giants take Sonny Styles today. They don't trade it back like I did last week. I think Sonny Styles would love to go here. I think he would be really utilized well under this John Harbaugh scheme, who really likes using these linebackers. You saw what he did with Roquan Smith, all those type of guys. Be awesome for this team. I would love Sonny Styles to go to this team because he's also a very surefire prospect. I think he'd be awesome for this team regardless where he goes. Whatever team he goes to, I think he'll be awesome. It will fit in whatever. I think the Giants would love to take him at 5, especially with that linebacker group being bad. Micah McFadden is a rotational. I don't think he'll be a top guy, and Tremaine Edmonds would probably be a starting linebacker, but that's not going to negate you from taking Sonny Styles, who's already a pretty solid pick, and this team lacked one defense, and Sonny Styles is a prolific tackler. This is as good of a tackler as a prospect you can get. Like, it's awesome, and I think he'll be awesome fit for this team. The Browns, they don't usually have Francis Manoa here. I think the value's too good for him right now. I think I would love Francis Manoa for this team, offensive tackle. I think the drop off for a wide receiver is a lot more, but I think Manoa just makes so much sense here that I would love for him to go here. Put his offensive tackle opposite side of Tytus Howard. It'd be a pretty good team. This team honestly addressed offensive line in a better way than I thought they would. I didn't like the Zion Johnson sign. I think that was very bad. But other than that, it was a pretty good. Tytus Howard is not a bad player. Like, I don't know, there's a lot of bones in there. So I think taking Francis Manoa here would be good for this Todd Monken scheme. And you maybe take a wide receiver later down the line and taking Omar Cooper Jr. or even Denzel Boston later down in the line, or even Casey Concepcion with his multiple versatility aspect to him. So there's a lot of interesting areas there. The Commanders, I usually stay away from this. I might trade back here and see what I can get. Maybe a team like the Cowboys would love Caleb Downs here, and they go over these type of teams. I'm gonna do that. So I'm gonna go an in-division trade. We're gonna go the Cowboys propose a trade with the Commanders. So the Cowboys straight up, and they get their safety of the future. They take Caleb Downs, which would be amazing for this team. That could be a real game changer. I think if Caleb Downs falls to the Dallas Cowboys, they take him regardless, but I think this team would really like Caleb Downs. And I really made that up on the fly. I kind of made up some trade scenarios before I started recording, where I was like, okay, this team would probably trade up with this. That's why I was like sitting here for like 5 minutes. I was like, maybe what teams could they do? I have a couple more trades in store, maybe 1 or 2. So that would be awesome for this video. But right now, I kind of made this up on the fly, where you might see this. You really might see this. I think the Cowboys really like Caleb Downs. I think this team could really benefit a player like Caleb Downs, who has surefire tackle ability. Be awesome for this team. And then you also keep your 20th pick for trading Micah Parsons. There's some areas they can go to, and I think I would really enjoy this pick for them because I think they would get their number 1 guy there. And Caleb Downs, I think, is one of the better prospects in this draft for me. I think he's top 3 on my board, maybe even number 1. I might make a board if you guys think so. But yeah, I think this team would really love a Caleb Downs-esque player. The Saints, there's a lot of areas they can go here too as well. I think David Bailey's 100% in play. You get your guy here. Or you take Cardinal Tate. And I think I prefer Cardinal Tate a little bit more. I think Cardinal Tate would be awesome for this team. I think Cardinal Tate would be a good 1B type receiver to Chris Olave's 1A. And Olave has had injury history, so it would be a good replacement if he ends up getting injured throughout the season. So there's a lot of interesting area here. Maximize Tyler Shuck's short window for his contract, and keep on playing with these guys who keep on just maximizing the money. I think this team was in cap hell a little bit ago. So I think if they keep on building out of this cap space and keep on getting these cheaper contract guys, this would be an amazing fit for this team. There's a lot of areas they can go here too as well. I think a wide receiver is definitely in play here. I think taking Jordan Tyson would not be the bad idea. David Bailey would not be a bad idea either, but I don't think Spags likes these type of guys. Lomu, I don't know why he's so highly ranked on this. I don't know. I'm not a huge fan. I think you can probably get someone like a Avion Terrell later on. Mansour is also an intriguing option. I've got Mansour previously. I'm not going to go again. I think I'm going to wait a little bit. I'm going to go David Bailey, though. I think this team would benefit from a player like David Bailey, a real edge with Mike Danagon. I think you could develop him into a real 3-down lineman if you can. He's not ready for that yet, I don't think, but you're not going to take him number 9 to be DPR, so you're going to have to work on that over the offseason. And I think he can try to be that. It's just a lot of speed rushing, and there's not much strength, and the bend is not that great for his size. So there's a lot of interesting areas there, but I think this team would benefit from a true game record pass rusher in David Bailey, which they've lacked over the last couple courses of the year. This team would really enjoy it. The Bengals can go in many other ways too as well. The Bengals can go Mansour. I would like a safety here. I say Dylan Thieman's definitely in play as well. I think I love Dylan Thieman here. The linebackers also in play, but you're not going to reach for one because the drop off is pretty big after Sonny Styles. Obviously because Sonny Styles is a pretty sound prospect. I think they're going to go Mansour though. I think they've lost too much secondary to the point where they can put it off. I think Mansour would be awesome for this team. He would be a real kind of a game changer for the secondary. I think that he will step in and be that number 1 corner. And I think you won't play him nickel, will play him on the boundary. He's just a smaller guy. That's the only reason why he's not probably going to the top 5 range or going to teams like the Giants or even like the Browns, who are like secondary needy team, or the Cowboys. I mean, I have the Cowboys taking him at 12 if he falls, but there's a reason why he's not going higher and he's not getting traded up to be higher, because he's a little smaller. But I think it's just like he's allowed 15 catches at LSU. Like, that's crazy. In SEC school, get some of the best competition. I know SEC Glaze in 2026 is fucking wild, but like at one point to be like, okay, like, yeah, that's pretty good. 15 catches this year, that's not bad. And he produced wherever he's gone. In Virginia Tech, he produced pretty well. LSU, he took it a step up. So I like this pick a lot for them. The Dolphins, there's a lot of areas they can go here as well. I think the Dolphins would like a lot of things as well. Safety's 100% in play. I know people don't really have him mocking Dylan Thielen here. I think Dylan Thielen is 100% in play. A wide receiver is 100% in play too. You can get someone like a Jordan Tyson here, or you can take someone like a Monroe Freeling, or not Monroe, sorry, a Spencer Fano or a Vega Ione here. I think this 100% make a lot of sense too. I think Spencer Fano is getting like falling a lot because of his obviously his arm length, but I think this team could use someone like Spencer Fano. I'm gonna go Spencer Fano here. You can play him guard. Maybe I play center, or say center if he can play center. It wouldn't be the worst idea in the world to take him. I think this would be an awesome pick for this team that really needs it. I think just purely because of his flexibility, he'd be going really high. I think he has mean strength. He moves so well laterally. Like I don't know. I just think that he has a pretty good frame to him as well. Other than the arms, I think I really enjoy Spencer Fano's tape as well. I think this would be a pretty good pick for them as well. The Commanders, there's a lot of areas they can go here as well. I think they could really use a. I'm not that big on wide receiver because the wide receiver class is fairly deep in this area. I think Dylan Thielen could definitely go here too. I think they need safety, build it from the back in front. I'm gonna go Dylan Thielen here out of Oregon. Get the value when you can. I think this team would be have an amazing time with Dylan Thielen. I think Dylan Thielen tests off the charts on the combine. He would be a monster for this team, like a literal monster for this team. I think the turnover ability, but also just the idea of just run tackling and how this team is very, very old. Don't think we can provide that youth to them. That'd be an awesome fit for this team. The Rams, I'm gonna have them going Jordan Tyson out of Arizona State. This is another easy pick for me as well. I think this pick works a lot for them. I think Jordan Tyson can kind of play that slot role or that outside role, depending on wherever Puka or Devontae Adams end up playing. Regardless, it's an extra wide receiver for this team. It's kind of a luxury pick, which a team that can afford a luxury pick because this team is so good. I think this team is gonna make some serious noise, and you're kind of building for the future with this pick. And I know it's kind of like interesting. You're building for the future as well, but you're also building for the now because Jordan Tyson's already a very sound prospect. Just the injuries, and if you have him healthy and available during playoff time, because his team doesn't really need him during the regular season. As long as he's healthy during the playoff time, he can be a real game changer for this team. I can also see him be a real compliment to Puka Nacua on the outside. Maybe if you don't have him for too long, because you probably have to pay both of them, and if he plays really well, he's gonna have to be playing that big bucks money. So that's gonna be a real interesting area. But I think Jordan Tyson would be awesome for this team and be a real, like, probably the best wide receiver core in the NFL. It would be awesome for this team. The Ravens, there's a lot of areas they can go here too. I think I go Vega Ione a lot here, especially with Fano God. I think this team would love Vega Ione. Again, another great guard. They're going to lose Falele, so it's going to be another interesting area to talk about. But I think Vega Ione would be awesome for this team. Pretty good floor. Only 5 pressures in this year from Penn State would be an awesome pick for this team. There's a lot of areas here for the Bucs to go here too. This team could really use a defensive tackle. I really don't like Keldrick Folk here. I think this is just not a schematic fit at all, and it's a real reach as a prospect. So I don't like that at all. I don't know how well I'm liking this board here. This team's I always have a struggle picking this team because there's a lot of areas they can go here. I definitely say Kayan Sadiq is in play, especially with Kadon. I don't know. I don't know. I see Makai Lemon's also in play too. Akeem Messidor is also in play too. It's an instant production. Todd Bowles trying to save the job. A little bit of an older guy, but I think I'm gonna go Akeem Messidor here. I think Akeem Messidor would be a good fit for this team. He has had injury history in the past, not this year, because he's primarily played edge. Before, when he had his injury history, it was mainly because he was playing defensive interior, but he's shed some pounds. I think he was 270, 280 plus before he got injured around the West Virginia / early Miami time. Then he started shedding some pounds, playing more edge. He'd be an awesome fit for this team. I say you probably play edge in the NFL and be pride instant production, hopefully to save Todd Bowles' job because he's on the hot seat. So this is going to be an interesting area to see where this team goes, but I think this team can really use an edge presence in Akeem Messidor. The Jets, there's a lot of areas they can go here as well. I think Makai Lemon would be awesome for this team. Really reach on anybody else. I think Makai Lemon would make the most sense here. They're pretty happy with Mason Taylor, so I don't think Kayan Sadiq is in play here. Maybe a guard because you don't have a guard, but again, who are you going to take? I'm not going to take Caleb Lomu here. I'm not going to take Caden Proctor here. There's a lot of areas to talk about, I think Mekhi Lemon, for how the board has fallen and how some of those guys have gone, I think Mekhi Lemon would be a perfect contrast to Adonai Mitchell and Garrett Wilson. Be a pretty good fit for this team. And the wide receiver 3 for this team is not good. I can't remember who it is, but it's just someone not that great. So taking Mekhi Lemon here to get a real quarterback to help Geno Smith. I'm assuming Geno Smith is starting because they started him and they just traded away Justin Fields, I think last night or this morning. So going to be interesting to talk about, but I think Mekhi Lemon would be an amazing fit for this team, and I think Mekhi Lemon would honestly benefit a lot next to Garrett Wilson and Adonai Mitchell. So I would like this pick a lot for them. I'm not the Lions going Monroe Fleming, offensive tackle out of Georgia. He doesn't have as much ability to play guard, but you're not taking him for a guard, playing for his tackle because he has a perfect frame for a tackle. I think this team would really benefit from Monroe Fleming. I would think Monroe Fleming would be a little bit better on the left tackle side, maybe Penei back on the right tackle side because Penei does have history there. So taking him there, moving into left tackle, playing Penei on the right side would be an amazing fit for this team. And I know people aren't really high as him as I am. I think I have him as my tackle 2 in this class because I moved Spencer Fano down to guard. So this would be an amazing team for this, amazing pick for this team. The Vikings. Areas they can go here as well. I think safeties in play. I don't know if they might reach. So the thing, okay, I'm gonna bring this up. The thing with the safety board is that after Emmanuel McKinney-Warren, the top 3, Dylan Demon, Caleb Downs, Emmanuel McKinney-Warren. After those guys, the drop up is big. AJ Holsey is a late 2nd round player. Genesis Smith is a terrible tackler. He's a freak athlete, terrible tackler. You don't know how reliable he is. Corey Ramsey, I think, is a bust. Lewis Moore is like 50. Jalen Kilgore has that safety hybrid. It's just not great. Zaki Wheatley and Cole Wisniewski is fine, but I'm not a huge fan of Zaki Wheatley's game as a reach, right? And this team doesn't have crazy amount of capital, so it's interesting. It's interesting to talk about. But this team would probably maybe take Emmanuel McKinney-Warren here, or they can take a defensive tackle here and take Peter Woods, take the upside. I think this team would love a defensive tackle after losing their 2 defensive tackles in free agency. So I think this team would love Peter Woods. I'm gonna go with Kansas City to the Panthers. I think this team would love Kansas City. I think Kansas City he tested off the charts, and I think he would be awesome for this team because he really needs a new tackle. And their tight end room is not competitive at all. Kansas City can walk in. I don't hold Kansas City in the obviously the group like the same level as I did Brock Bowers or even Tyler Warren. But I think I really like Kansas City here. He might be a little bit worse of a tight end prospect, but I think there's just so much to build off of and so much athleticism. You can play on the outside. It's another weapon for Bryce Young, and this team could use a lot of weapons for Bryce Young because if you give Bryce Young some of these guys, I think he'd be awesome, and I think Bryce Young would be awesome just in general if he gets someone like Kansas City. So I think I like this pick a lot for them. Cowboys, there's a lot of areas they can go here as well. I think the Cowboys can go edge here. I know people don't really like TJ Parker that much. I think TJ Parker would be pretty good in the NFL. He's ranked 34. Micah Lawrence is a 2nd round player. Zion Young is a late 1st, early 2nd round player. Keldrick Folk, the Cowboys don't usually go with that. I think Jamal McCoy wouldn't be bad. I think Avian Terrell also wouldn't be bad. I think I'm gonna go Avian Terrell here. I think the Cowboys will pass on him as in Jamal McCoy because of his ACL injury and he didn't participate that well. So I'm gonna go Avian Terrell here. A place bigger for his size, a real 5C corner would be awesome for this team. Just the only reason why he's falling so much is because of his size. But other than his size, he's awesome. I think he'd be awesome for whatever team gets him. And the Cowboys get the quarterback 1 and get a real blitzer and a real hitter off the back. So I wouldn't really hate that pick at all. The Steelers, there's a lot of areas that Steel City can go. Wide receivers definitely in play. I think for how his team is oriented, I think Oren Cooper Jr. would be pretty good. People will say Denzel Boston, but not with the addition of Michael Pittman. I don't know if Denzel Boston would be kind of redundant. It would be kind of the same as some of these previous picks. So I'm not a big fan of that. So I think taking Oren Cooper Jr. here will play the slot would not be the worst idea in the world for this team in this area that really needs a true wide receiver to eventually build off of after some of these guys are gone. I think it builds some youth into this area. The Chargers, there's a lot of areas they can go here as well. I think defensive tackle is 100% in play. Cam McDonald would be an awesome run stopper for this team. I think I love Cam McDonald. I think Cam McDonald is probably the best run stopper in this class. There's not crazy much of upside, but he did play nose at Ohio State, and this team runs a 3-4 defense, so I think he'll play nose regardless. So it'd be awesome for this team. I think this team would really enjoy someone like Cam McDonald, who can really provide a big run stopping threat to this. And I know they did lose some guards and they did lose some offensive linemen, but I think taking an offensive lineman here wouldn't be a worst idea in the world later down the line. The Eagles seem to take a chance on these type of guys. I think Jamal McCoy fits perfectly like a glove to them. They needed a cornerback too. This team had very, very, very bad cornerback depth. So taking Jamal McCoy here would not be the worst idea in the world to take him. Take a chance on the guy, and I think he'll be an awesome awesome fit for this team. Browns, after taking Francis Mano, they're going to take another guy here. They're going to take wide receiver Casey Conception out of Texas A&M. I'm higher on Casey Conception than I am on Denzel Boston. I think he'd be an awesome fit for this team. This team would love a player like Casey Conception who provides everything for this team. You can play the slot, play on the outside, but you can also play punt returner and kick returner. Be awesome for this team. They need a true wide receiver one for this team. And I don't think they double up and double dip on a offensive lineman here. I think taking Casey Conception would make the most sense because you don't really have a true wide receiver one in there right now. So taking Casey Conception, I like this pick a lot for them. The Bears, there's a lot of areas they can go here as well. I think defensive tackle, safety is also on the board. I think out of everything, I think Emmanuel McNeill-Warren makes the most sense here. I really like Emmanuel McNeill-Warren. I think it'd be awesome for this team. So we're gonna have him going here. We're gonna have Emmanuel McNeill-Warren going to the Bears after losing Brisker and Gardner Johnson. You're gonna need safety hole. I know you have Kobe Bryant, but I think Emmanuel McNeill-Warren will pair up awesomely with him, and that will be an awesome pick for this whatever team ends up falling to. But I think the Bears would make the most sense to me. The Bills. I'm on the Bills trading back with the Cardinals. So the Cardinals propose a trade, and they go to the Bills, the Buffalo. They call the Bills line, and they're going to be like, okay, hey, can we get Ty Simpson? So they're going to do that. Late day 2 pick and a round 3 pick later. I think for the value, I think this team would probably want to jump over the Jets. Well, it's not going to be there, but they're probably going to jump over the Jets because they might think the Jets might take a quarterback. I think Ty Simpson here is probably the best pick for this team. Ty Simpson could probably sit back and learn from this team, from Jacoby Brissett. Would be pretty good fit for him. I think he just needs to work a little bit on his consistency, and if he actually works on it, he might be a solid quarterback. And he's kind of betting on himself because he declined all his NIL money to return back to school to declare for the draft. So I think this would be an awesome fit for this team. The 49ers, they take a lot of they need a good amount here. I think taking an edge here is definitely not off the play. I think Keldrick Folk might be fine. You can also take a wide receiver here, but I don't know if I don't like the board here. I think taking an offensive tackle might work a lot better. Maybe taking Caleb Lomy here to work on his play strength, work on his overall game would be pretty good for this team. Learn behind a Hall of Famer and Trent Williams. I think this team would benefit that over Blake Miller. He's already probably more NFL ready than Caleb Lomy. Caleb Lomy has a lot of good traits to him. I think there's still a lot to be done, but I think this would be a pretty good pick for whatever team takes him. There's a lot of areas the Texans can go to as well. I think Christian Miller makes the most sense. I think out of all of these guys here, you're probably going to see Caleb Banks fall because of his foot injury. So I'm thinking Christian Miller here could definitely sneak into this back half of his first round. Real good high floor player too, I think, as well. He's very, very, very raw though. I think he'll work a little bit better once he gets a little better technique, but this defense does need a little bit more at the defensive tackle area. So I think this team would benefit from him tremendously. The Chiefs, there's a lot of areas they can go here as well. They did take who did they take? I think they took David Bailey, edge. So they took David Bailey. There's areas they can go here as well. I think Colton Hood would fit the scheme a lot as well. This is usually what Spags goes for, but I think this team could use a corner like Colton Hood. I think this team would really benefit it because they need a corner. There's a big hole at corner, and this corner class isn't terrible, but I think Colton Hood is probably going to be better than someone later in the draft when they have those picks. So I like this pick a lot for them. The Broncos, I'm going to see Jalen a lot, another high floor type linebacker. I think this team would benefit him a lot recently, but you can also go another guy, defensive tackle. You can also go Lee Hunter, who fill up that John Franklin-Myers role, or Caleb Banks, see the upside. You bank on the upside. I think Caleb Banks will be pretty good as a John Franklin-Myers replacement. It's just the problem is his medicals, and he got injured again, and it's just the story of his career. He might fall out. I might have him experiment having falling out of the first round, maybe even taking the later half of the second round. A lot of interesting areas there, but I think this team would enjoy taking Caleb Banks here because a lot of upside, and you want to bank on that. Patriots, there's a lot of areas they can go here as well. I think wide receivers 100% in play. Denzel Boston might be in play. You get the number 1 guy or number 2 guy, I guess, compared to Romeo Dobbs. But this team could also use that. Or you can go with an edge here. I think TJ Parker would not be a bad idea for this team either. I like TJ Parker a lot. I think he isn't the most tremendous at everything, but he's damn well solid, and I think he'll be a pretty good team player, and will stand pretty well for this team. It doesn't have to be a true 3-down edge as well as how this Patriots defense rolls, but I think TJ Parker can eventually develop into that being a real stud in the NFL. The Seahawks, I don't usually have them going this. I'm gonna go Keldrick Folk. Mike Macdonald's gonna get his guy. He's gonna build up Keldrick Folk into being a real dog. Like, he's gonna actually build him up to be a real dog. He's a really raw prospect, but I think he'll be awesome if you can develop him into being that guy you think you want. I think he does he is a really high floor player, but he doesn't have the pass rushing ability yet. I think he definitely develop that. But again, young athletic freak. I think he'll be amazing for whatever team gets him if you develop him correctly. And Mike McDonald, I trust him, especially with after losing some of these defensive guys in free agency. And honestly, they didn't have a great free agency. They've lost some key players for that team, specifically Kobe Bryant. I know people are going to bring up Kenneth Walker. I think Kobe Bryant is going to be a bigger loss, and I think people are going to start realizing that once the season starts. So I don't hate this pick at all for them. They get their number one guy after losing Boye Mafe as well, and be pretty good for this team. I think I like this pick a lot for them. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. This is my mock draft with trades. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know if you guys just like thinking. See you guys in the next one.